couple of movements. Eliminate youth 5 to keep these little kids away getting from doing these double fulls. Okay. One thing the rules committee is looking at, I can tell you right now, one thing the rules committee is looking at is putting another, because we already have a couple layers on here with youth, mini, blah, 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 levels. We're looking at putting another layer on the rules that has to do with ages.
Yes, I like that.
Okay, of allowing progressions with certain ages, not letting whatever age, I'm not going to say because like he said whatever age and younger, not letting them do double fulls or double full downs. Give them something to build up to.
Why would you limit a child, their development, if they're ready to develop to that level?
Why we shouldn't do that.
All of those kids in that category, even though this one maybe started when she was 4 years old, and she's now, 7 or 8, and she can do doubles, and she's been doing all that stuff for such a long time, say, you can't do it, because you're not old enough to do it yet.
Again, if we're going to write a rule that says you can't do X, Y, Z, it's not the top guns that we're worried about. It's the ones who see that on YouTube, see that on ESPN and go, we can do that. No, you can't. They want to change from August 31st back to May 31st. Really? I can tell you, because I was one of the ones, hey guys. No, this is for everybody. I was one of the ones instrumental in moving it to August 31st because I was the one who got the emails from many parents saying, my daughter turns a certain age during the summer, so she's not moving up with all of her friends. So she would cheer with her friends for a couple of years, then they'd move on. So there's another year that she's not with her friends. Next age group would be the same thing. So moving it closer to the date that most of the schools in the country use was able to keep the groups of friends. And it's not just, I want to be with my buddies. Except I was like, okay, Mom, I don't care about your daughter want to be the friends. Well, I found out it was a bigger issue. It had to do with carpooling and all that kind of stuff. So I was like, okay, that makes sense. So I brought it to the rules committee. And I'll be honest with you, it didn't last long. The rules committee was like, oh yeah, we should change that. Why you're so happy about it, talking about going back to May 31st?
On the opposite end of that, as far as we go with the younger kids, and it's not so much as carpooling, because we've got a relatively small gym. But my thing, particularly just me and seeing it, is we have a lot of kids who were just on that borderline, and we get a lot of brand new kids. And they have to move up to that next level because their birthday does fall after May, when really they would have benefited in being in that lower level, or not lower level, but that lower age division. And that's my biggest issue I've had with it, because we really had kids that we should have.
Can I ask you a question? Because
Sure.
this is what that somebody else said similar, and I wanted to ask them, but I just never got to it. Why do they have to move up? I mean, I understand age-wise, they got to move from youth to junior,
Right.
but junior also has level 1.
But if you don't have enough kids, we need
Age-
age group. We don't have
age
we don't have multiple levels.
We're not big enough to have, 2 or 3 youth teams. We don't even have a youth team at this point.
Okay, no,
But you've got to understand, when you've got a small gym that only has 3 teams, period, and right now, we've got a senior team, a mini team, and a tiny team, because we've had to combine. We don't have enough kids to split out and have a youth and a junior
Right.
and so forth. And that really hurts us. I mean, we're really hurting in that age there. What I've really seen is the progression from the tinies to the minis as well, because we've got a lot of kids who just now turned 6 who still have no business even cheering a mini level 1. They really need to stay as a tiny, in all honesty, because those kids aren't going to be able to press up to do a full extension, even braced. They're not big enough. And that's
Okay,
the
I think I
kind of stuff
follow you.
I'm talking about. It's the small gyms that are kind of.
Large teams being moved to 30 instead of 36. That is one of the suggestions that's not written on there. If somebody wants to write it down and get people to support it. There's a myriad of things people say against it and say for it. Against it is, if you cut my numbers down, now it's, and I'll put those 6 kids, another 6 kids, and make another team. Now I got to find more time in my gym, pay a coach more money, for extra hours, all that kind of stuff. The other thing is the people who want it say, hey, we don't have any competition. And it'd be easier to fill out 30 members on a team to make the large teams. The biggest problem is pyramids. Because stunts, you can say, okay, y'all only have 20, you can only put up so many stunts, y'all got 30, I should put up more. Pyramids, that's always gonna be more dynamic. And there's just, I have no answer for that, because 20s, it's not gonna be as dynamic as a 30-person pyramid. It's just not.